Cortavius here. 40 minutes left on the boosted summons. It's champ chase time. It's fusion time. I am 95 fragments in. I need to get 5 out of here. I don't have to pull any shards actually, but it's 2 times voids with the 10 times on Neve, who is fantastic. So I want to pull a couple shards. So that's 50 points. Another rare, 50 points. That's 100. So why did I say I don't need to pull any shards though? Because if I go to the tournament and props to Plarium again, the points are very low. I only need 5 fragments, so I only need 1,300. But even if you needed to get the 15, they left them at 3,000. Both of these Summon Rush and Champ Chase, those points are historically low for past year and a half, 2 years. I mean, yeah, people are like, well, 4 years ago, they weren't that bad. They were like this. Well, yeah, but there's been inflation in the game for sure. So only need 1,300 points. And I've been using rosin. I have, for the Marius missions, I just haven't fused rosin yet because I'm using it as a champ chase factory. I can make a lich. I have all the champs I need there. I can make a blood feather. I have all the champs I need there, and they're all sitting there at 40 ready to go. And I can make a torture helm. I got enough champs to make 1 torture helm. So that's 300 or 750 points just on rosin.
Hey, before we go on, click the link in the description right now and you can get the great legendary poisoner, Narma, along with 3 epics. You get Anax, Mausoleum Mage, and the best epic in the game, Uugo, as you progress. All you have to do is follow 4 steps. Step 1, log out Plarium Play on the PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid, complete the tutorial. And step 4, go to your inbox, Narma's there waiting. These 4 free champions will give you an insane head start in raid, so click on that link before it expires.
And then I've got a Relic Keeper I can make too. I've got the parts ready for Relic Keeper, and I got to make 1 Justice Seer, who's another 50 points. And I got a Broadmaw ready to go. So I could get 1,400 points without pulling a single shard. But it is 2 times, so I'm like, I want to pull a few. I only have 66 voids left, so I wouldn't mind piling those up some more. But it's a game, and I do want something. Got an epic, and it's Runekeeper Dazdirk. He's okay. I mean, Leech on the A1, which is nice. Increase attack on all allies, then fills the turn meters. So you boost your damage dealer. Got a cleanse. And heals all allies and places a continuous heal. So that's actually pretty nice. 4 turn cooldown. I guess that's why he's an epic. And ally attack in all battles, which you probably wouldn't use. So not a bad little epic, actually. I'll give him credit for that. Give me another back-to-back epic. I am not far on Mercy, so I'm not expecting anything out of Mercy. That's 350, so that's 700 points. Dang, we might not even use anybody out of the portal. So why Firstborn? She's an okay champ. She has some interesting skills. She got an A1 that's a single target attack. She's got a 50% chance, which you can't book up, of placing a decreased defense, puts an increased attack and increased crit damage on herself if she kills somebody. But she's only got a strong rating on that, 4 times attack, so I don't know. Don't know if she's going to kill anybody. But she's got an AoE on the A2 with a 75% chance, which you can book to 100% on a 3-turn cooldown of placing a 50% big boy decreased attack for 2 turns. Not a bad skill, even if you're just using her as a control champ and lowering the damage that the enemy can do to you. And then on her A3, she has a single target attack, and on Hell Hades, that's a 6.6 attack, which is viewed as a legendary attack, so it can do some damage. 3-turn cooldown. 100% chance of placing a weaken. So you got a chance for decreased defense on the A1. You can get the weaken on the A3, and she can do some damage. And places a decreased attack on all enemies, so your team takes less hits. So not a bad epic. I mean, I don't know that I build her. And I've already beat the Barbarians faction, so that doesn't help her. But not bad. All right, 1 more epic. I think we're done. Denig the Tusk Knight. Not a bad rare, actually. All right, there's our epic. We got Genbo the Dishonored. He used to be in a lot of places. He's a really good attack-based nuker. He's just been power crept because there's so many other nukers in the game. But he's still pretty useful. Look at all those books. Holy cow. Books. But he's got a double hitter on the A1. Each hit steals any increased attack buffs from the enemy, which means he gets it. So not just a remove, it's a steal. And a 30% chance stealing one random buff. The increased attack buff steal cannot be resisted. So no accuracy needed on that one. You would need it for the second steal, but you could just skip that. AoE, 80% chance of decrease in the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. This effect cannot be resisted on critical hits. So you built him as a crit, as a nuker. He's going to have crit anyway. So you don't need resistance on that A2, or accuracy on the A2, which is nice. And then he self-buffs increased crit rate, increased crit damage on this champ for 3 turns, and then grants an extra turn. So boom, you come in here with the A3, he buffs himself, and that's crit rate. So you can build him with 70% crit. He's going to self-buff himself, and then you do the AoE. And that AoE can smack, so he can do some good damage with it, and which is nice. Throw the passive in there. He's immune to decreased attacks, so you can't lower his damage by doing that, and he ignores unkillable when attacking under increased attack. And remember, I guess he doesn't self-buff himself for that, which is unfortunate, so you got to put that on him before he does his A3. So, unkillable at least. Doesn't do block damage, doesn't do stone skin, which is part of why he's power crept, is there's so many other relics and buffs out there that he's not as good as he was before stone skin. But still, pretty useful epic, and he can do some real damage. Speed in arena battles by 20%, so he brings a nice aura for the arena. So that's definitely a good epic. So let's see how we're doing on the champ chase. I am not there yet. Thought I would be. That's 700. Yeah, I guess we're at 1204. So I guess I might as well just finish this out with shards and just save all those champs I have for a champ chase where I don't want to pull shards. Oh, we got gold. What do we got? Oh, Georgian. Holy crap. This is the free to play. I don't even have him on my main. Dang. I spent all that time talking about Genbo. Well, let's take a look at Georgian and see how he compares to Genbo. Dang. He's got rats. He's a rat killer. The Nutcracker, holiday Christmas theme. Oh man, I can't believe we got Georgian. Let's do the skills backwards. 50% chance for this champion to ignore 50% of the target's defense for each hit placed by this champion's skills. So RNG, he's only got a 50% chance to ignore the defense, but 50% of the target's defense. I mean, you put him in a ignore defense artifact set, you put Helm Smasher on him, I mean, he's got a really good chance then. There's relics that give that too. Attacks one enemy, so it's single target, but he ignores strengthened stone skin, unkillable, block damage, increased defense, ally protection, and shields. And he can smack. And if he does kill somebody, he gets an extra turn. And he's got an AoE on the A2. So if you kill somebody, you target the right champ that you think squishy, kill that champ, then come back with the AoE, decreases the turn meter of all targets by 30%, which can't be resisted, so you don't need accuracy. Puts an unkillable on him to help him stay alive. And if he uses A1, he's got a double hitter on the A1 to 30% chance of repeating the attack. Man, that's a fun champ. So Georgian, we got a nuker. I was building Supreme Elhain, which I pulled as my last void. You know, honestly, that's pretty crazy. I got her pretty close to Mercy, actually. Yeah, I just checked RSL Helper. I pulled her with like 30 voids, if I remember correctly, and I just pulled him with 26 voids. So, man, I am doing well with pulling champs on this account without having to go to Mercy. I mean, I've gone 200 shards in on Mercy before. So, as I was saying is, I was building Supreme Elhain as a champ that I could use in Arena. I got her up to level 50. I got a bunch of masteries on her. But yeah, I mean, she's a Void Legendary, and she does AoE damage too. And she ignores ally protection, strength, and shields. So she's a fun champ, but I guess if you're talking Arena, and you can't beat Georgian versus her. So, wow, that is a great pull. I mean, I am tickled pink about that one. I mean, dang, Georgian. I love the fact, too, that the free-to-play is getting champs that I don't have on the main. So it's just fun to build something different on the free-to-play. That's why I like that. So we're not far away from an epic book, but I really don't care about an epic book. All right, so that's it for the, we are at 100 fragments. I could go get the 10 fragments, convert them to mod fragments, but honestly, on the free-to-play, my odds of getting mod anytime this decade are pretty low. So, I don't know. I'm not that excited to do that. All right, let's go pull the main up. All right, I got the main up. I have 850 points I could get from Relic Keepers and Broadmaws here, too, so I don't have to go that deep. I do have 186 Void Shards, though, so you know? Man, it was fun seeing Georgia walk out of that portal. So I'm going to pull a few singles, and then I might do a 10 pull, and then... Oh, gold in the first one! Holy crap! Oh, Crizia! Holy crap, this has been the session. Wow, Georgia on the free-to-play, a Crizia on the main. I don't have a Crizia. That is a brand new champ for me. Man, I have 2 Newts and a Marius, and now you add a Crizia with her max HP to the team. Man, I got some new speed teams I'm going to be bringing out in some videos. No, not many of you are going to be able to build the teams probably, but I got some fun teams I can build. Man, I've been using Coldheart as a 4th. A Crizia. Holy cow. Dang. What a night. They say nothing good happens after midnight. It's 2:30 in the morning. Everything good happens. Hell yeah. Dang. All right, why am I excited about a Crizia? Crit rate in all battles by 19% aura. Do you really? I don't know that you really want to count on that in the build. Passive decreases the damage taken from AoE attacks by 50%. And she's a PvE champ. You don't use her in PvP. So a lot of the enemies in PvE do AoE attacks, a lot of bosses. So it doesn't say whether that's for her or for the whole team. That looks like the whole team, doesn't it? The target's max HP is more than double this champ's max HP. This champion attacks will deal damage based on the target's max HP instead of this champ's attack. So when she's attacking bosses, for sure, what they're basically saying is this champ's attacks are dealing max HP attack. It's not using an attack, so what that means is like you'll come in here and you'll see attack or enemy max HP. She's using attack if she is attacking enemies with weak attack. She's using enemy max HP if she's facing bosses. And I said, in PvE, most of these champs have crazy attack. If the target's max HP is more than double this champ's max. So yeah, she's going to have like 60,000 HP, and most PvE has like millions of HP. So she's doing max HP on every attack. Look at that. Max HP, max HP, max HP. So she has max HP attacks on every skill. Attacks one enemy 2 times. That's a it'll be a 10% capped in PvE content, but a 10% max HP double hit on the A3. 80% chance of stealing the target's turn meter before attacking. Can't be resisted if the target has higher max HP than this champ. Once again, we're talking PvE. They're going to have higher max HP, and she's stealing turn meter. Now, a lot of bosses will be immune to that, but the ones that you can steal turn meter from, that's eligible. Attacks one enemy 2 times, so it's another double max HP hitter. Places a shield buff on this champ for 2 turns. Valid shield buff equals to 5% of this champ's max HP for each critical hit. So decent shield on her herself, and she's got a single target max HP hit. Even her A1's going to do 10% of the boss's damage. 45% chance of placing a decreased defense, which books up to 60%. So I don't think you're really relying on her to be your decreased defense champ, but it's nice, I guess, if that buff's run off, she's got a chance to add to it. And damage of skill increased by 10% every time the skill's used. Stacks up to 100%. So that only really gonna work on her attack base. So if she's already hitting the cap on enemy max HP, then you're not really going to get any benefit from this 100% because you can't do more than 10% of the boss's max HP anyway. But it's there, I guess, if you're fighting champs that don't have that she's not hitting the cap on. So a Crizia added to the account. Yes, that is definitely going to be a quick build. How many books we got on her? 4, 8, 12 books. So about average. And you definitely want them on the A2 and the A3. You could skip the books on the A1 if you're lucky, because I don't know that I really want kind of her for decreased defense anyway. Man, Georgia and a Crizia. Wow. Got to come up with a good thumbnail for this one.
Show your sword! Show your sword!
So I am only at 654 points. Well, that was the first shard I pulled, wasn't it? I pulled gold on the first shard, didn't I? Yeah, because you're talking Void Legendary. Maybe one rare. I don't know. Wow. All right, well, I guess I need to pull more shards then, right? I almost feel like I should stop and just go pull those Relic Keepers and Justiciars and just leave it at a Crizia, but maybe this is my night, right? All right, Fanatic. Not an epic worth spending your minutes on. But double gold! Holy crap! Sulfurion! Yes! Yes! Oh, man. That's... there's a lot of Void Legendaries I'd want. There's other Void Legendaries I should want more than him. But honestly, this has been my most wanted because I love Teox. And I love the Teox team. And Sulfurion really unlocks my TX team. Holy crap. I haven't pulled many shards, but honestly, this is the best session I can remember having. I mean, I pulled back-to-back gold from Sacred Shards, but for quality here, Georgia on the free-to-play, Acrizia, and Sulfurion. Dang. Any one of those three and I go to bed thinking, what a night. Man, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm gonna build some champs. Man. Okay, why am I excited about Sulfurion? Dang. Okay, I can't read that whole passage to you. Let me pause that and read that. So Sulfurion, if I go to his A2 first, so you got to put some speed on him and you got to put some accuracy on him. When you do that, he places an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 3 turns, and you can put HP burn on Stone Skin. So Stone Skin's crazy and it blocks debuffs, but you can put you can put HP burns and bombs on Stone Skin. So he places the HP burn on all enemies for 3 turns and then instantly activates any HP burn debuffs on all enemies. So ideally he'd be in Cracking Roots probably, and ideally you'd put him in the blessing that melts Stone Skin faster, because then he could burn the Stone Skin off those champs, and now they're sitting there, you know, now you can land your debuffs and TX can trigger and do his attack. So he places a shield buff on all allies equal to the damage inflicted by the HP burn, and the Valley Shield can exceed 25,000 HP. So he throws the burns, puts a shield out. Now, once those burns are out there, then his passive kicks in. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 5% for each HP burn debuff placed. So TX has a passive that if you put debuffs on enemy, he goes faster. And Sulfurion's speeding him up even more, because if he puts, say, 4 HP burn debuffs out there, that's a 20% turn meter fill for TX and himself and any allies. And when HP burn debuff is activated, it heals everybody. If you're against spiders, it does more. And then whenever an HP burn is removed from an enemy, and remember, he instantly activates it, so he's going to remove the HP burns. He places a 50% decreased resistance debuff on that enemy for 1 turn, which means your other champs that you're going next don't need as much accuracy. If you kill a champ by HP burns, it fills his turn meter by 20%, and he increases speed by 7 for each active HP burn. So he places the 4 HP burns out there. He's got 28 more speed and turn meter fill off this. Now, what I don't know is if he instantly activates all those and they go away. I would think he loses the speed, so not sure exactly how that works. And then he has an A1, which fills his turn meter by 50%, fills the turn meter of all allies except himself by 10% when attacking a target under HP burns. So, yeah, really nice kit centered around the HP burns. And for great measure, he also throws a Revive All Allies in there with 50% HP and 40% turn meter and gives them an extra turn. Yeah, great champ. Man, am I excited to build him on my Lizardman. Yeah, I was missing the arena lead for building a siege team or an arena team around him. One thing I didn't check is his aura. So he's got an HP in all battles aura. So now you could look at somebody like TX. You've got Sulfurion, who can do burns. You've got Necmo, which would be my speed booster. I've got Romantu in there, who can then place some debuffs. I did pick up this Kieran the Harvester for that team too. So he's got an AoE, 75% chance of placing a sleep. So I guess if Sulfurion goes first and burns off the Stone Skins, then he could come in and sleep everybody in case they're faster than TX, and he gets an extra turn. He puts all the target skills on cooldown for a single target, and then a chance to decrease the turn meter of all enemies. So you got a kind of a turn meter champ that you could play with there too. So yeah, really fun. I mean, the one that I'm missing for that TX team that's pretty amazing is Lazarius. So if I could get Lazarius as a mythical, yeah, that would be a crazy Lazarius, Sulfurion, TX, Romantu. That's the craziest team I could put out there. Man, so Remnant Summon. Maybe we try and let's go get Lazarius. Come on, give me Lazarius. We're on a roll here. Nah, Fodbar the Bard. So much for that. All right, where did that put me? Champ Chase is up to, I got the fragments I need. So I could stop there. We're at 1354. So I could go get the 10 for mod. I probably should. Let me think about that. Yeah, I guess I'm never going to get mod if I don't take advantage of these times when you can get extra fragments from these fusions, right? So think Critical Risk in my clan reminded me of that. So if you're watching, that's that. Yep, thinking about that. All right, so I'm going to do that. So I got 183 voids. I might as well use some of those, right? Actually, I did want to get Lazarius, and I still had some Remnant summons, so let's pull a couple more of these just to see what we get. Another epic. There's 250. Mausoleum Mage, not a bad epic. We get Kalia, another epic. We're at 2100. Oh, why not? We'll pull one more of these and go back to voids. All right. Well, Seneschal, that didn't work out so well. Let's go back to voids because we have been having great luck with those. That puts me at 2404. What do we got? I don't even care what I get now. I'm good with what I got. All right, Marquise, 2450, 2500. Ifrit, we've definitely gone to the garbage pulls now. Well, sorry, Tree Shield. I didn't mean to call you garbage. Tree Shield, not a very good rare. He's got Revive on there, some good skills. Very good rare. Eviscerator, she can actually hit pretty hard. Oh, we've gone down rares. Maybe I should have stopped at that 1300, huh? But I cannot complain. Come on, give me an epic. The 2 times is back off. Kill goal. Somehow he's got guns when nobody else does. Padma. She's a very good epic, and actually she can be used in the faction war. Very useful in the faction war. You know, she's an old champ, but that skin's really nice. I like that look on her. But yeah, she brings a decreased attack on the A1, which is definitely very helpful. And then decreases accuracy on the A2, removes all buffs from the enemy on the A3. Definitely still a pretty usable epic. All right, where did that leave me? Am I where I need to be at? Champ Chase. All right, that's it. That's 3,000. Man, Georgian on the free-to-play. Sulfurion, Acrizia. Man, this has been fantastic. I hope your luck was great. Let me know. I doubt you had luck that good. But did you have luck? Did you do well? Did you not do well? Man, anybody know anything about Sulfurion, how I should build him? Let me know. Gotta go play with him. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Great day. Wherever you're at. I'm just happy. Have a good one.